This next excerpt is from a Q&A session Janice Flamengo did after her speech on the hashtag #MeToo movement. She brings up a very critical point, which is that the boundary of sexual assault, in other words, what classifies as sexual assault, has been broadened so much that even asking a girl for her number seems to constitute sexual violence.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is even relevant at this point, but yeah, we do tend to, when we're talking about these things, to focus in on the most egregious cases of sexual violence. And of course, the thing that has worried me so much is the way that sexual violence as a category seems to be expanding, so that it seems to refer to nearly anything. It can refer to a crude joke or a sexual proposition or a calendar up in somebody's office or whatever. And it's one of the things that I find most astounding about the current moment is the degree to which it seems that women are becoming ever more incapable of dealing with the give and take of human interaction. And I mean, this is just sort of a question for others. I don't see very much discrimination in the public conversation about what counts as sexual violence. It seems that almost nothing is too minor to be included in the list of outrages. And there have been numerous articles recently published, including in the New York Times, by a woman, a horrible accusation against all men. It was called, "Dear Men, It's You Too." It was just awful. It was unbelievable. And you could never imagine a man writing anything even close to it and it being published in any newspaper anywhere. And this is from a professor of English and creative writing. It seethed with hatred. It was absolutely, I couldn't imagine. This is somebody who teaches, presumably, some young men at Purdue University. I would never want to be a young man in this woman's class. It's just so awful. And I've come across many others like this, blanket accusations against every single man. And, and she listed all these things that, women suffer. And some of them, were rape and things like that. But then there were other things, forget, some man making a joke at the water cooler and other men laughing at it, that kind of thing. And I just wonder, I just find it bizarre, like absurd. And I don't know how all of the armies of the outraged, how they can keep on feeling so aggrieved and so upset about these things that are so obviously trivial. So I guess my question to other women in the room is, are these conversations going on in feminist circles? Because I would love to hear a feminist come forward. I don't see any of them saying half of this stuff is just ludicrous. It's not worth worrying about. This is the give and take. This is part of being human. Yeah, sometimes men say things that women take the wrong way, and it's not the end of the world. And yet we're all supposed to share in a kind of universal outrage that it's all deeply hurtful, and women have to stretch out with their smelling salts, and everybody has to run around going, oh no, this. What happened to the feminism of female empowerment, women taking responsibility for their own bodies, their own choices, their own responses to things, and just being able to soldier on, because it seems to have been entirely abandoned.
Germany's military once made the world tremble. They still do, but for very different reasons. The German Defense Ministry has unveiled a brand new uniform, a maternity uniform to be worn by pregnant troops. They plan to spend almost $1 million buying 500 of these uniforms to accommodate pregnant soldiers that they plan to send to the front, assuming there's ever a war in which they're involved. This is a pro-woman position, supposedly. How is that exactly? We care about you. We love you. We want to protect you. Go die. Now to a segment where there's only one person who could answer the questions that we have tonight, and that is our progressive Sherpa, Kathy Aru. And she's joining us for perspective on a brand new development in language. At UC Davis, the LGBTQIA Resource Center has produced an online guide instructing students in the use of 8 different gender-neutral pronouns. not he and she. Those are yesterday's pronouns. The new ones include yo, z, a, n, and v. Kathy Rue is the founding publisher of Catalina Magazine, in addition to being our spirit guide through thorny questions like this one. Kathy, I'm grateful that you came tonight. I couldn't think of a single other person who might be able to explain this to us. So I want to walk you through some of these pronouns, and I want to take it as seriously as I can, because I know very soon I'll be forced to participate at gunpoint, so we might as well start now.
It's not forced at gunpoint. You're going to enjoy it.
Well, I think if recent history is any precedent, yes, we're laughing about this now. It'll be mandatory tomorrow. So let's start with the pronoun Z.
Yes.
For he, she, and zer for him and her.
Right.
How would I ask the following sentence?
Okay.
Did she enjoy herself at the party?
I want to get it right. Did Z enjoy zerself at the party?
Okay, that sounds like Henry Kissinger. Okay, that sounds like a German accent. Are you sure that's right?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is in many universities have put out these pronoun guides. So
okay.
Yeah. So
because the Germanic accent is more sensitive. I'm tracking with this now. So let's try this sentence using again Z and Zer.
Of course.
She cooks dishes using ingredients she has grown in her yard.
It would be Z cooks dishes using ingredients Z has grown in their yard.
Their yard.
Yes.
Their yard. Now you're a French waiter. I love this.
No,
okay. Great job. I'm not mocking
correct.
you.
Yes.
You definitely are. And I'll have the Coke and syrup, please. Now we're going to move on now to co and cos.
Exactly.
If I'm pronouncing it correctly.
You are actually, yes.
Okay, so we're going to translate, if you wouldn't mind, this sentence.
I don't mind.
He asked himself whether his gender pronouns were mildly confusing for others.
So co asked co-self whether cos gender pronouns were mildly confusing for others.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Mildly confusing still, but you've cleared it up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to move to Z and her.
Right.
Okay, so how would I say his car broke down, so he had to walk here by himself?
It would be here car broke down, so Z had to walk here by herself.
And that's different from Pidgin English how?
Well, this is accepted by the LGBTQIA community, and different colleges and universities going from Vanderbilt to California to Georgia have accepted these and added them to their pronoun usage grammar books. So
I know a number of members of that community have never heard of any of this, but whatever. We're going to try one last one, and my producers promised me this is real.
Yeah.
It's yo.
Yo,
and this is
yes.
why I think this is written by The Onion, but whatever. They promise this is real, according to the scholars at UC Davis. Yo is for he and she.
Yes.
Yas, or yos, is him or her. And, of course, yoself is for himself, herself. So how would I ask?
Right.
She better leave now if she wants to make her flight in time.
So yo better leave now if yo want to make your flight on time.
Yo's flight on time.
Yo's flight. I'm sorry, yo's flight on time. Yes. And it could be purse, P-E-R-S. I mean, there's different, you could choose whichever pronoun you're comfortable with. So it doesn't have to be one of these pronouns. There are many.
There are many, an infinite number. But isn't the purpose of language is to communicate mutually agreed upon using mutually agreed upon definitions, right? So if I replace language with something that's dumber, less precise, and embarrassing, how does it forward the purpose of language itself, which is to facilitate communication?
Smarter, not offensive, and forward-thinking, I think, is the way we'd be correcting our language.
You're totally right. And I've forgotten the kind of underlying assumption here, which is that all change is good.
All change is good, and language does change, and this is a sign of the future. And in 50 years, I mean, this is just going to be automatic. We're not even going to think twice. So the transgender community has embraced this. I think it's a question of not grammar.
There's no community. I mean, what does that even mean? By the way, can I just say, because I can't resist, if I ever wake up one morning and find that I have been drafted involuntarily into some community, I'm gonna resist, because I'm not, the only community I'm a part of is my family, and I don't want to be in a community. I mean, does anybody ever say, you know what, I'm not part of your community?
Well, that's the beauty of this. I mean, you can be part of a community. You don't have to be part of a community. You can be who you want to be. You can say, hey, I don't want a pronoun. No pronoun for me, please. And
no, you can't.
Yes, you can do that.
Everything is mandatory. All change is good. Everything is mandatory. Those are the two rules we all live by now. Kathy Ruth, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
are quite a Sherpa. I appreciate it.